Mindfulness Instructions number 6. Mindfulness meets grief. Welcome. Please note that this meditation is being recorded with the intention of assisting grieving individuals to work with powerful and intrusive thoughts and emotions while dealing with any depth of the bereavement process. Please allow your attention to come into this space. Sense the whole space in this room. Sense the space around you, feeling whatever there is to feel. Now, bringing your attention to your body, notice your feet on the floor, your hands resting on your thighs or folded together on your lap or at your sides. Now allow your attention to find your anchor. It may be your breath. Notice where in the body you feel it. Perhaps the tip of the nose, the nostrils, the back of the throat and the mouth, the chest, the belly. Just notice that sensation, connecting to the sensation of breath and the place within your body where you feel it most. Or perhaps your anchor is the sensation of your hand where it touches your body, where you feel the texture of the fabric under your fingers, or the smoothness of your skin under your hand. Allow this to become the anchor of your attention, recognizing the sensation of your fingers as they move against your skin or clothing, or the sensation of increasing pressure. Know that these sensations are always with you, have always been with you, and can support you as you travel through your days. Know that at any time when your mind has wandered into thought, feelings, or body sensations, the breath or the touch of your hand will bring you back into this precious present moment. Each of us has experienced losses, perhaps losses of many kinds. The loss of someone who has had meaning in your life, the loss of a beloved pet, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a job, the loss of your health, the loss of a dream. By the time we have hit midlife and beyond, we have each likely experienced a number of losses. And accompanying those losses is often the feelings of grief, sadness, anger, emptiness, confusion, numbness, fear, and sometimes a mixture of all of them at once. While grief over your losses is not something that you can harness or manage or manipulate in order for it to be painless, it is possible to establish a different relationship with the difficult emotions associated with your losses. Not that these strategies will miraculously inoculate you against the inevitable pain that lies within grief, because nothing will. But there are ways to establish a healthier way of being with this challenging human experience. Mindfulness offers us a way to accompany grief as it demands our attention. If you are aware of a rising of thoughts, emotions, or physical sensations in connection to your loss and grief, let's step into this space consciously, mindfully, and with love and compassion towards yourself, to practice holding and walking with grief moment by moment. First level of response. Let's walk through the levels of response that you have available when you lose your focus on your anchor of awareness. As a first level of response, if you find that your attention has been captivated by a thought, a feeling, or a physical sensation associated by your loss and grief, and you have lost the breath or the touch of your hand as the anchor of attention, then just notice it. Label it as just that, a thought, a feeling, or a physical sensation. Then gently and without judgment, bring your awareness back to your anchor of attention. Second level of response. There will be times, likely many, many times, when you find it difficult to return to your anchor because the thought, feeling, or physical sensation attached to your loss and grief has become too strong or too intrusive and has hijacked your attention. When that occurs, then allow your attention to temporarily find where in the body that intrusion resides. Where in your physical body do you sense this intrusion? Where does it reside? This then becomes your second level of response. Perhaps there is a thought that persistently intrudes into your awareness, such as of your lost one, memories you shared, plans you had for the future. And if the thought is strong enough to continually pull your attention away from your anchor, it will also be associated with a feeling, an emotion. If it does not have a feeling attached to it, then it is not likely strong enough to continually hijack your attention. But for example, let's say that a thought is associated with sadness. Very gently begin to find where the sadness is located in the body. Do a brief scan of your body to find where that feeling is held. Is it in the jaw, the chest, the belly, the hands? Without attaching a story to the emotions, just become curious as to where you feel it in the body. If the emotion attached to the thought is a more pervasive overall physical sensation which is difficult to isolate, then consciously decide to place your attention on your heart area. Bring your awareness to the place in your body that holds the emotion associated with the persistent and intrusive thought. This then becomes your temporary anchor of awareness. Your task is to now, in a focused and laser point manner, explore the body area. Become very curious as to what the physical sensations associated with the feeling, which is attached to the thought, is like. Is there tightness, clenching, pressure? Does the sensation stay in one spot, or does it radiate in a direction that is outward, upward, inward? Is there a warmth or a cooling sensation? Is it big, small? Can you sense a shape or a density of the sensation? Continue to hold your attention on the sensations associated with that place in your body. As your attention has been exploring the body part that is associated with the emotion, that is associated with the thought, perhaps you notice that the sensation is somewhat dissipating, lessening in intensity. If so, then once again allow your breath or the pressure of your hand upon your body to become the anchor of your awareness. The gentle in and out, rising and falling of the breath, or the movement or intensity of the pressure from your fingers or hand where they are contacting your body. As you continue to be mindfully aware of your anchor, perhaps again your attention has been pulled away. Possibly this time a strong emotion or physical sensation has arisen. an emotion or sensation which will not simply go away when it is noticed and labeled. Rather, it becomes a persistent intrusion into your anchor of awareness. Should this occur, if you find it difficult to return to your anchor, then it may be necessary to again engage the second level of response, to temporarily change the anchor of your attention from your breath or hand to wherever a strong emotion or physical sensation that has arisen is located in your body. Perhaps unpleasant emotions such as fear, unhappiness, guilt, confusion, irritation, or physical sensations such as nausea, racing heart, headache, body aches. Whatever emotion or physical sensation that is strong and persistent enough to become an intrusion into your anchor of attention, find where in the body you feel that emotion or the physical sensation directly, and relocate the focus of your awareness to that place in the body. Move your attention from focusing on the breath or the pressure of your hand as the anchor to now use the identified body part as your new, albeit temporary, anchor of awareness. When you have discovered where in the body you feel this persistent intrusion, become curious as to what the physical sensations are. Really examine the body sensations and be mindful that with strong emotions, stories will arise also. Stories about who or what has caused this to be. If this happens, when this happens, simply drop the story. Leave it for another time and return your attention to the sensation you are having in your body that is connected to the persistent emotion or physical intrusion. Notice what you feel with this intrusion in your body. Tightness, tingling, pressure, numbness. Is the sensation small or large? A feeling of warmth or coolness? Is it moving to another part of the body? Any sense of pressure? Can you sense a shape to it? Be curious. There is no wrong or right way to feel emotions or physical sensations. As we did with the raise in meditation, look at it with a beginner's mind. Noticing these feelings and their associated place in your body with an openness and newness. Not judging or labeling good or bad, just being curious about the texture of the physical sensation. As your attention has been placed on the sensation of the body part that was associated with the intrusion, perhaps you've noticed that the sensation is dissipating, lessening its intensity. If so, then once again, allow the anchor of your attention to come back to the breath or the pressure of your hand, the gentle in and out, rising and falling of the breath, or the texture of the fabric beneath your fingers, or the pressure of your hand upon your thigh. While your first and second responses to intrusions that take your attention away from your anchor are powerful strategies that can be very effective, there are also times when strong emotional experiences associated with loss and grief require more attention. That is, even with the application of the first two responses, you can find it difficult to continue your focus on your anchor of awareness. Third level of response. So if you continue to notice a rising of thoughts, emotions, or physical sensations in connection to your grief, and the first two responses have not proven effective, know that you do not have to run from them, numb yourself to them, or any other escape strategies that are available to you. Rather, it is possible to mindfully step for a moment into this difficult space with the utmost love and compassion towards yourself. Recognize how powerful and challenging grief experiences can be. They are among the most difficult human experiences that you will ever meet. Grief is big, messy, chaotic, and seems to have a mind of its own. Grief is a powerful experience that deserves our conscious respect, but not our fear. It is just another cognitive, emotional, and physical experience that we can befriend. Again, just notice what it is that arises. A thought about your grief, an emotional reaction to having loss, or a physical sensation that accompanies loss and grief. The third level of response available is to introduce a new way to relate to the persistent intrusions of grief, not as a way to avoid it or tame it, or pretend it is not there. It is a further way to be with the difficulties and challenges that grief presents, to be mindfully present with the strong thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Allow your attention to find the area in the body where you feel the grief sensation. As noted earlier, if the grief is difficult to isolate in your body, consciously choose your heart region as the one to hold your grief. The new strategy is to now couple your usual anchor of attention with the place in your body where the grief sensation arises. If you are using your breath as an anchor, intentionally direct your breath right into that grief region with the in-breath. Feel it coming through that grief area, and on the out-breath, feel it leaving from that grief area. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Moment by moment, allowing the breath to bathe that region which holds your grief with the incoming breath, and then to wash it away with the out-breath, allowing your awareness to hold both the grief and the breath simultaneously. If you are using your hand sensation as your anchor, allow yourself to move your hand to the place in your body where you are feeling grief. Perhaps it is in your stomach, or shoulder, or jaw, or heart, wherever in your body it may be. Place your hand or fingers over that area. Allow yourself to continue to feel the sensations of your hand over this grief area in your body. Feel the pressure or slight movement of your hand over your grief body area. Feel the texture of the fabric under your hand as it touches the affected body area. Continue to focus on your hand sensations as your anchor of awareness, coupling the anchor with the grief area of the body. You are not trying to take your grief away, just directing your attention through your anchor, breath or hand sensations, to the area that holds your grief, using your anchor to focus on the grief area, experiencing the sensation of breath, washing in and washing out like waves of the ocean over your grief area, or the changing sensations of your hand on your body where it is experiencing the grief. ever so gently touching the sensation within the body, focusing on the experience, seeing how it unfolds moment to moment, knowing that you are literally touching the grief that you are experiencing. If you find that the grief sensation lessens or dissipates, move your anchor away from the body area and return to your usual way of focusing your attention on your anchor of awareness, using the breath or your hand sensations to hold your focus. If you found the third level of response difficult to do, and the grief experience is so strong that it continually pulls your attention away from your anchor, or perhaps you feel like you can do nothing, you feel frozen, then it's necessary to very gently and briefly approach your grief experience, to pull back to a fourth level of response. Very gently notice if you can allow your attention to rest ever so briefly on your chosen anchor of awareness, to set your intention to hold your awareness on only a small interlude of your anchor of attention. If you are using your breath as your anchor, set your intention to focus on perhaps just one in-breath. That is only 1/2 of a full breath. Nothing else needs to be done. Just one in-breath. Even in the midst of significant grief, you are setting a goal to hold your attention on just one in-breath. If you are using your hand sensation as your anchor, set your intention to rest for just a moment on the sensation of one finger or your palm pressing firmly into your thigh, or feeling for one moment the texture of the fabric under your finger or hand as you gently rub it. See if you can, just for one brief moment, allow your attention to return to your anchor even with the intensity of your grief experience. Know that your grief is strong enough to pull your intention away. You know how strong it is. But even so, make it so your intention to return to your anchor, even for just one brief moment. After having focused on just one in-breath, or one finger hand sensation, and if your attention is drawn back to the intensity of grief thoughts, feelings, or physical sensations, that is okay, because you have demonstrated to yourself that you are able to focus your attention on your anchor, on 1/2 breath, or on a brief moment of tactile sensation in your hand or fingers. Even with the raw grief you are experiencing, you are able to do this. Over time, try expanding your attention onto your anchor for longer moments. Still only moments, but nevertheless increased moments. Knowing that your attention is not able to rest in your anchor for long as it gets pulled into your grief experience. Very gently make it your intention to allow your awareness to rest on just one in-breath and one out-breath. or on the sensation of your fingers pressing twice firmly into your thigh, or feeling the fabric texture under your fingers on 2 occasions. Knowing that the powerful sensations of grief will likely pull your attention away from your anchor, but ever so gently and slowly, extending the moments that you are able to keep your attention on your anchor, perhaps 1.5 breaths, or 2 breaths, or the sensation of your fingers on your body or clothing for 3 sensations, or 4 sensations. Just setting your attention to focus your attention on your anchor of awareness for just a bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Not trying to change the grief experience. Rather, just learning to be with the grief experience when it is strong. There is no rush in this practice. It is a time to be compassionate and gentle and patient toward what you're experiencing. However, you may be noticing the judging mind. It may be beating you up for the limited breaths that you were able to focus on, or on your limited ability to notice the pressure from your hand on your thigh. Again, with the mindfulness practice, simply acknowledge and label this as judging, and allow yourself to continue back to the practice. As you set your intention for 1 or 2 breaths or hand sensations, notice how that felt. Perhaps a sense of courage, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of hope that you can stay present to your experience without getting lost in it. Knowing how powerful your grief experience is, and yet you are able to stay with your anchor for moments. That even with the significant grief thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, you are able to direct your attention where you want it to be on your anchor of awareness. That being your breath or your hand sensations for a moment, and then a further moment. And over time, to see if you can extend your capacity to be with your grief experience for another moment, and later for another moment. Not ruled by grief, not living in fear of grief, but traveling alongside of it as you focus your awareness on your anchor of attention. Perhaps you have found this very difficult to do. Acknowledge that this is not easy. It takes practice and practice and practice, coupled with your intention to hold the attitudinal foundations in this experience, attitudes such as acceptance, non-judging, non-striving, beginner's mind, patience, trust. Let it be. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Allow your courage to declare, I will try again later. I will try again later. As you continue to sit, remember that your intention with this mindfulness practice is to simply be in this moment, and in this moment to be able to experience your capacity to intentionally focus on your anchor of awareness, the breath or hand sensations, no matter what arises in the mind or body, to be able to befriend whatever arises, even the more challenging and painful thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations that will arise, to develop a sense of confidence and trust in yourself that you can meet whatever arises. Not that this will be easy or painless or any of the other challenging emotions that your human life will present, but to know that you do not have to hide or avoid or numb yourself to the 10,000 sorrows or challenges that are a part of this life that is yours. That you can learn to respond rather than just react to whatever arises, to be fully present in this moment, on purpose, non-judgmentally. Take these next few moments to keep practicing. Be gentle with yourself. I will soon bring your attention back to the room. I will ring the bell 3 times. Slowly, at your own pace, allow yourself to open your eyes and adjust yourself to the room and to whatever else is around you. Offer yourself loving kindness for the courage to explore and to practice new ways of being present with yourself, even in the midst of difficult experiences such as loss and grief. Hold an image of yourself in your mind and give yourself a hug, an acknowledgement of your courage, strength, and wisdom to begin developing a new and different relationship with yourself.